anymore after that point. I think a lot of wrestlers actually would get over a hell of a lot more without a PG kind of persona.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, we're seeing this heel turn with Dolph Ziggler right now, and although he's going out there being aggressive and whatever, we're not actually getting a decent side of him on the mic still. You know, we're not hearing him actually say anything controversial. He's having to rely on a steel chair to get across. But I'm sure if it wasn't a PG era, he would definitely have a few choice words to say about some people. And a lot of other things like the blood returning and that would also generate quite a lot of nostalgia for people that used to watch back in the 90s and the early 2000s when that was kind of a regular occurrence. And now when people watch it, it's one of the arguments that people have saying, well, you know, wrestling isn't all that. It's kind of fake because, you know, if they were going to do this, there'll be blood and that, and we don't see it these days. Although, you know, we go over this many, many times that, you know, wrestling definitely ain't fake, but, well, from the toll it takes on people's bodies. But, you know, they could definitely generate a lot more interest if they did make it non-PG. I mean, I would be more into that myself, for instance. But that's just me talking as an adult. If I was a kid, I'd be kind of disappointed if it wasn't accessible to me. Yeah,
the thing is, it's like even when I was growing up, you know, I used to see the blood, but you know, you see blood on other things as well. You see blood on film sometimes, or just TV in the day, that kind of stuff sometimes. So I think it depends how you take it. Also, from another aspect of it, from an adult point of view, like if you're a young adult, you know, you're in your teens or whatever. I'm not saying put blood on every week because then you lose the effect of it. But when you've got now, the one thing that at the Attitude Era didn't have back then, Matt, was a very fully fledged MMA, UFC sort of going on. And you know, you watch a UFC fight, yeah, these guys are getting blood and beaten up and they got bruises over their face. You're watching a wrestling match, you're asking yourself after, hang on a minute, he hit him about 1,000 times there, he's not even bruised, let alone bleeding, he's nothing happening. So I do think sometimes, like when it comes to those big matches like Hell in a Cell or a cage match or something where it needs to really be there, that's when it could really be used. Like I know they have still done it now and then, whether they've just been given the green light. Like I mean, you look at what happened with Randy Orton, Matt, you know, that certainly wasn't PG, was it? What Brock done to him last year, and apparently that was all accepted and above board. So, you know, now and then, certain guys kind of get away with it. I don't know how it really works because I feel sorry for the other guys that are just on the card every week who can't get that. And I think, you know, it would help them more than anything else. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You know, I'm sure it's not the end of it, but who knows. Okay, last question then. Well, actually, we'll take two more questions. Damo's got a quick point here. Damo, another classic point. Someone needs to tell Roman to his face he sucks. Can't ever like this man. There you go, Damo. Read it out. A real Roman disliker right there. DX1 now, regular listener and emailer to the show. Interesting one this. Do you think WWE may do a double turn between Braun and Roman this Sunday? Matt, any chance of a double turn at Fastlane?
Oh, well, we can only hope, can't we?
We've been hoping for the last 2-3 years, haven't we?
Yeah, we've been saying, like, that's what Roman needs. But at this point, like, we've kind of now accepting that WWE doesn't want to do this. They do kind of look at him as, you know, John Cena, as much as we hate to say it, he's becoming more part-time. And they need a full-term kind of face character that, you know, kids can rally behind. And, like, they're giving Roman Reigns this motto of, you know, I can, I will. It's just like rephrasing, like, never give up, you know. It's still one of those positive slogans people can get behind. So I kind of really got to have my doubts now about turning Roman heel. Even though I would love this, and I think it would be great for his character, and I think it would kind of change people's opinions on the guy. It's just, you know, terrible for him in the fact that WWE are the one that are holding him back. Because if they just pulled the trigger on this a long time ago, he could have transitioned back to a face character by now and been very over with the fans.
Yeah, this is such a confusing issue. It never seems to go away. This has got to be the Wrestling's Gold podcast biggest topic, I would say, since I started this. And it's Roman Reigns. Since I started this podcast, Roman Reigns has been like the most talked about thing. Certainly has that about him. Certainly gets spoken about, but just for the wrong reasons. The problem is now, I mean, even if he rolls into The Undertaker at WrestleMania, I still don't think they're going to turn him heel. I still think they're having babyface, and they're just going to try and present it like that, babyface and babyface. Even if he gets booed, I still think they're going to do it. And the thing is now, Matt, he's in a catch-22 because, like last year, I said to you, he won the PWI Insider. He won the Best Heel Award. So, in a theory, he already is working a heel. He's got the best reactions as a heel. He's getting more of a boo reaction than what the heels are getting, which is ridiculous. So, do you change him on purpose anyway, or if I was Vince McMahon, the smart thing would be, Matt, to have a word in Roman Reigns' ear backstage and say, do you know what? Do what you're doing, but just know you are actually a heel. But we're not gonna make it obvious anymore. Because there's no point. Because as soon as they turn him heel, I'll tell you what will happen. He'll start getting cheered. That's exactly what's going to happen. It's difficult because people want to see him more edgy, and as soon as he gets edgy, that's when people are going to enjoy him because he's going to have a lot of things to say. But I think the only way they're going to get him over as a fully fledged heel, he's got to go out there on the mic and he's got to absolutely slam the audience. He's got to do it so bad, and he would have a lot of emotion to work with. Like, I'm sure he's felt like it sometimes. Like, what have I done wrong? What have I done wrong to get this reaction? That's all he's got to do. He's just got to he'd have to keep being like that. But quite frankly, as Matt said, how many years has it been, Matt? 3 years? I don't know. Since that Royal Rumble and, trying to get him ready. It just hasn't been... It's not been. It's just not worked, and we're at the stage we're at. I think Roman Reigns is a very lost cause, and I think that they need to kind of steer towards somebody else. But I think they've always got a special place for Roman at the moment, shall we say? But it'll be interesting. But yeah, I do not expect a double turn. I've got to be honest with you. But I will say Braun Strowman definitely has potential to be a credible babyface in future. For sure, but I would still like to see him have a bit of a run as a heel at the moment. But I could see him. He'll probably get that thing, Matt, where you get that change in the turn, and it'll be like him coming out helping Sami Zayn or something, and that'll be his moment to do the big turn. But at the moment, I kind of like Braun Strowman where he's at, and I think he's improving very fast at the moment. So and Vince McMahon must be happy because that's his kind of wrestler, isn't it, Matt? Braun Strowman. That's his sort of cup of tea. So it'd be interesting to see how Vince McMahon perceives that match because both these guys must be pet projects in a way. So be interesting to see how it's booked. But I got a feeling no contest and definitely not a double turn. I'm guessing that's probably the same as you. Do you think there's a good value for face turn for Braun, Matt?
Not this early on, I would say. I mean, because he's just really starting to take off now,
sure.
And it's because of the character he's portraying. Like, he wants competition, and he'll destroy people along the path to get it. I think there's a lot more building to be done to establish himself as a really dangerous heel. Much like they did with Kane when he came in, and Undertaker. They didn't just straight away go to face mode. Sometimes it takes a few years even.
Yeah, interesting. I'm just going to put this one to you, Matt. Rather than having Roman Reigns versus Undertaker, would it have been better to have Braun versus the Undertaker? Do you think? Just throwing it out there to what we're in. Would that have? Because I've got to say, I never thought Braun would have improved this quick. But last year, they kept talking about Braun and Undertaker, and I thought that was far too early. But where we're at now. I don't know if I'm looking forward to Roman and Undertaker or if I would have preferred to have seen sort of Braun Strowman and Undertaker and, maybe Braun getting that victory. Who knows who it works out better for. But if you knew, Matt, that Undertaker was going to job for somebody, who would you have? Would you have Braun or would you have Roman Reigns?
Well, if I was going to know that, I'd want to know the other details. Because if it was face Roman, then no chance. If it was heel Roman,
yeah,
okay, I'm okay with that. But otherwise, if it was face Roman going over on Undertaker, no chance. I want Braun.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think it would be a great turn if he'd done it at WrestleMania, but I got a feeling that won't happen. We can hope, but I got a feeling it won't happen. Well, folks, that's we're going to have to wrap up the show now. Thank you for everyone who emailed the show. If I didn't get to your question, have no fear. I always normally do reply to you guys via email. Always thankful for all the emails you send in. Don't forget, if you do want to email us, especially give us your reactions post or WrestleMania. Sorry, not WrestleMania. What am I talking about? We're not there yet. Crikey. Some of that music. No, Fastlane. If you want to give us your thoughts on how you felt that went, or anything at all you want to put in some questions, we pretty much answer anything on this podcast, and whether it's going backwards in time, absolutely fine with us. Just drop us an email at the Wrestling Skull Podcast at gmail.com. Always happy to have those. Lots of emails coming in. Matt, thank you as always for coming on this show and giving your thoughts. And of course, we do roll in next week with our review. And again, from my perspective, I'll say I'm sort of lukewarm to the show thus far, but I'm hoping to be surprised. I think the problem for me, Matt, is like coming up to Fastlane. It just feels like we've got so many pay-per-views. It doesn't feel any different from Raw sometimes, and you have to be careful that they don't roll too many of these out at the moment. But that's the way I feel about it. I just feel like they've got sort of 5 matches laid out, but it's just sort of like the best of Raw. It's just sort of Raw. They could have spread these matches out over the period of 2 months towards WrestleMania and have one of those as a main event every night rather than just having a full show, where I just think some of these matches are kind of meaningless in a way to where we're going on towards. But Matt, if you've got to pick one as a quick prediction, Matt, what do you think will be the best match for Fastlane?
Oh, that's such a difficult one. I would have to say, I think in the ring, Charlotte and Bayley will make this their night. I think because they've got a lot to prove now. I mean, Bayley hasn't been portrayed particularly great lately, so she has to come off strong, whether she wins or loses, really. Yeah,
you're not going to go for Goldberg then.
No, I think I'll leave that one.
Yeah.
I'll leave that to the wait and see pile, because I haven't even seen. If I was going to add all together what Goldberg has done since he's been with WWE, it's kind of less than 5 minutes, so I'm not too sure.
Yeah, no review there. I think same for me. Bayley and Charlotte for me. But I'm hoping to be maybe surprised. Maybe we'll get a good match from Roman and Braun as well. You never know, coming off the back of that Big Show match. I think if it's done right, it probably could be a good match. But it's got to be done right, really. And then probably what will really sum that match up is the ending. That'll probably be the downer on that one, I should imagine. But until next week, folks, join us back for that review. Until next week, folks, have a good week.